What up? Did you catch that weird like pause in between the video and the countdown? It was like my stupid face, like, hey man, what's going on? What's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. I am just getting back from a week-long vacation that I need a vacation from because it was draining, believe it or not. It was very draining. I did have a good vacation. I did. It was good. It was just like nonstop, like driving, lots of driving. It was a 6-hour trip from Glacier National Park to Yellowstone, then a 4-hour trip from Yellowstone to Salt Lake City to catch our flight, and lots more driving in there. I don't even remember. But what's up, Jim Cox? How's it going, man? Is there enough Rex 232 out there for a fan art sketch of him? I think so. However, Nicholas got in here with Voodoo. Voodoo. He beat everybody. Yay. Or his Anna character. Yeah. I could go off what I've seen for sure. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Amanda B. What's up, Amanda B? Amanda B in the house. Hello. All right. So it was a great vacation. Seeing the national parks, amazing. I posted a few pics on Twitter, but you can check out some of those amazing just vistas of the mountains and clouds coming through the mountains. And so we drove through Glacier because we only had like basically half a day to spend in Glacier National Park, but we drove through and that was epic. So we were like stopping and taking pictures every 5 minutes. Then we went to Yellowstone. Well, first we went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho to visit my wife's grandmom. And Idaho is beautiful. So we did go fishing. They have some great parks. We went to Tubbs Hill, which was a cool hike. And there's a little beach that we went to. You couldn't yeah. You can do Rex. Jim asking is basically picking their character. Yeah, but he asked before the stream even started. He asked at 11:13 a.m. and we started at 11:30. So technically that wouldn't count. However, if you want to defer to him, you can do that. Just give me the word and I will do that. But that's totally up to you. So rules state you must, when we go live, that's when you can drop in your character. Not before then. But anywho. All right. So anyhow, we had a great time, did a lot of stuff, but it was tiring because we were like nonstop. So yesterday was my vacation for my vacation, and yeah, so here we are. Good to be back with you guys. Fan Art Friday. Let's go. Let me go over here to my table. Don't. So this is from last week. This is Catlin Fairchild, which I've not finished yet, actually. Still working on that. But yeah, so this is Miggs. Miggs got this last week. So I'm still finishing up the gun, but you can see what I've got going on there. So almost done. So I had a lot going on last week, and Nicholas, here's some sketches. These are the sketches I did for you. Oh, but there you go. Yeah, so I wasn't able to finish that because we just had lots going on, and this I'm working on currently. This is inks over Shelby Robertson's Ragetality pick. I'm not sure what he's using this for. I think a print with the campaign, but I'm having a great time inking this. So I will stream this when I get working on it again. But this is a piece I'm inking. Inking is fun. I'm having a great time with this. You see all the little. He gets so detailed in the little stuff. So it's cool just like picking out those little things, and so this is cool. Having a good time with this. So yeah. So I will be streaming this when I get to it, and yeah. All right. Voodoo then it is. Voodoo. All right. My table is all dusty because I have not visited it for a week. So I should probably dust it off a bit. Let me dust it. Let me dust it. Little desk maintenance. That's what happens when you go on vacation for a week. There's like dust everywhere. Man. Where does it all come from? Where does it come from? Where does dust come from, guys? I hear it comes from our dead skin cells, which is gross. So I hope that's not true. But it probably is. But here we go. Any for Voodoo's outfit costume, do you have a preference? If you do, if you want just like the classic, like the first outfit, let me know. Or you can just DM me a picture of if you have one in mind. I'll go with that, Mr. Gear. All right. Why does my camera keep losing focus? It's weird. There we go. I guess I need something in there to actually focus on. Oh, so how are you guys doing? Like I said, I did not do a lot of sleeping on the trip because my baby girl, her sleep schedule was all out of whack. So she was like literally up all night, and like we went to bed at like sometimes 1, sometimes 2. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. And so we were just, going on caffeine and adrenaline on this trip. Yeah. Who's Voodoo? Asks Amanda B. Amanda B. Here is Voodoo. So this is from WildCATS. Voodoo is from WildCATS. This is a 90s book. She's a 90s character. She is, she like extracts the daemonites from people and stuff. She has the sight. So this is WildCATS. This is Jim Lee's book after they launched Image back in the day. And I know there's a sweet looking pinup in here of Voodoo. I could show you. She's an exotic dancer. That's where we find her in the book. And then her journey starts as she is rescued by the WildCATS from the Daemonites, and then she becomes a Wildcat. But yeah, she just so happened to be an exotic dancer. So there you go. But yeah, so Jim Lee, 90s artwork, always fun to look at. Very cool. So there's a Daemonite. He's coming to get her, and he shoots this dude in the face, just like blam in the face. Step aside, human scum. Yeah. So that is Voodoo. So if you want, I could do that outfit. You let me know, Nicholas. Classic Jim Lee. All right. You got it, man. I'll set this off to the side. And let's just do some Voodoo. Okay. Get my pencil. HB. All right. All right. Here we go. How am I going to do this? This is the fun part. How am I going to draw Voodoo? Action. Static pose. Standing. I don't know. It's Voodoo. I'm thinking static pose. But I think I want to do forward facing. Yeah, I want to do forward facing. So let's see. It's funny how these angles all work together. Let me go a little darker so you guys can see here. Okay, I got to get this right. So if she's standing facing forward, then it's going to change the body position a little bit. So let me do like a 3/4 view. Mr. Von Stugel. Hey, Jim, Eric, Nicholas, and Amanda. What's going on, Mr. Von Stugel? Pop the head up there. Welcome, welcome. Always enjoy your cool avatars. Very cool. And there are 3 watching, and I think Jim took off. So he had a great request. It would have been fun to do that, but he's gone, I think. Are you still here, Jim? Jim, are you with us? Jim, are you with us? So as long as you guys get your request in when we go live, you don't have to stick around necessarily. You know, you can if you want to, but I don't require you to stick around to get your pick. And as you guys know, all I ask is if you want this original artwork, just shoot me $5 for shipping. That covers the envelope and the plastic protector and all that good stuff, and just helps me out, offset any cost and all that good stuff. So, but you don't have to stick around. You could just fly in, drop a character, and take off. That's cool. But you got to do it when we go live. Got to do it when we go live. Can't do it before. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. And there you go. So just in case any new peeps are hopping in here, just so you know, just so you know. Gosh, I sure hope her leg fits in here. Let me move her kneecap up a little bit. I don't want to cut her foot off. That'd be lame. Don't want to cut her foot off. I think we got it. We're good. We're good. Just depends on how long those legs are. You know what I mean? Oh, guys, great news. In other news, I finished Samson. I managed to wrap up those last, gosh, I think it was like 5-6 pages before I went on vacation. So I got that done. But now that I'm back from vacation, Lewis, the writer, he wants to add another page to help out with the, just so everybody knows that there's a guy writing the story. So we're probably going to add another page, and then I might do a cover as well. But I got to figure out how much time I have, because I got to get cracking on Shadow Sentry, and I have some other stuff in the pipe that I need to get done. I'm working on a Mavericks piece. I'm going to be doing their stretch goal. I forget if it was 18 or 20,000 stretch goal. It's going to be an A4 print. So I'm going to do that for them, which is going to be awesome. Can't wait to get started on that. So I will stream that as soon as I get on that. And I got to do this Ragetality piece. So I got some other stuff to do, and I gotta get going on Shadow Sentry. So I've been trying to get Samson out of the way so I could focus just on Shadow Sentry. So I got to see how much time I have. Don't want to take too much time away, because then the creative juices will just like stop flowing. I gotta get going. Gotta get going. All right. Not sure how I'm gonna do her hand. There you go. Standing, cool pose. She's like swooping some hair out of her face or something. I don't know. Girls do that. All right. Okay. So now let's go with the costume. These crazy boots. Is this like lamb fur or something? Is this like goat something? I don't even know. Got my furry goat boots on. My goat hair boots. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Chop off that right there. All right. Next foot is going to be something like that. Gotta get the feet right. Gotta get the feet right. Does anybody own any boots like this? I'm just curious. They're probably like fashionable in the 60s, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems like only something an exotic dancer would wear. I mean, really. But ain't gonna judge if you got some. I won't judge. All right. And then there's the back portion that also comes down. And all these flippy flowy things, which will make for great energy coming across the page. So, yes, this is the WildCATS. Amanda B. If you have not read the WildCATS, I mean, you could probably find some back issues. It's kind of fun. It's super, classic superhero stuff. This is right after Jim Lee did his X-Men run that sold over like 8 million copies. Yeah. And my friend, while we're on vacation, he sent me a video, and actually the cover to X-Men #1, like Jim Lee just sold it at auction, and he told me to watch the video. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but he's like, you got to watch the video. So something happened cool, crazy that I got to see. But did anybody catch that? Did anybody see that? I'm curious. All right. But yeah, so this is like hot on the tails of Jim Lee's X-Men run, which was amazing. So I think this is like, the artwork is very, very similar. Like it's awesome. And the coloring is better than like what we got with the X-Men run, because all the X-Men colors were all flat. So here's like computer colors. You can see the gradients and stuff. So the colors pop more, and it's just Joe Chiodo. I don't know how to say his name. Excellent colorist. Just beautiful work. So I love it. The story, I mean, the story's good. Honestly, my favorite Jim Lee is WildCATS 5, 6, and 7. Awesome stuff. There's in issue 5 of the WildCATS, there's these huge pull-out spreads, like 4 pages, or maybe 6. Gosh, it's just amazing. So I think that's some of his best work. They did a crossover with Cyberforce, and that's like some of my favorite stuff right there that he did. So I'll dig it. So if you're into that stuff, I mean, it's got cool villains. This is Hellspawn. But check out those colors. I mean, it's just like, it's awesome. So this is like classic Jim Lee right here. Scott Williams at his best. The hotspot. That's Georgetown. I gotta find out if that's in New York. If that's in New York, I'm gonna make that where they go in Shadow Sentry Book 2. So I gotta find out Georgetown. Gotta find out where that is. But anyway, awesome stuff. Awesome fight scenes. Grifter, still one of my favorite characters, doing his thing with the guns. Boom, 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 boom. Pew, 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 pew. So anyway, cool stuff. Some classic covers. I love Jim Lee's covers. I love them. Anywho, awesome double page spreads. Here's one of my favorites though in the back. Let me show you this double page spread. Dun, dun, dun. The big beatdown. So here's an awesome pick of them all. So he grows in size and strength, and here he is getting bigger. And check out that sweet double page spread. Fighting the young blood. Pike, very Deadpoolish. But yeah, so fun stuff. Spartan's a cyborg. Reminds me of like Aliens, the cyborg and Aliens. All right, so let's get back to the drawings. All right, let's see here. All right, her head thing. I'm gonna have to make this hand better. So very light, but Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing it out. I appreciate that. Did it go for insane money? I would imagine it did. I still need to watch it. My friend told me that something crazy or something funny happens at the end. Something to do with, I think he said the guy from System of a Down. He's a big comic collector. And he's heavily involved in comics. I think he said it was that guy, but he did something funny at the end. So maybe he just came in and sniped everybody and just took it. But anywho, I gotta watch it. I'll share it out on Twitter, and you can check it out too, Amanda B, if you want. Okay, let me do the face. This is important. Let's do awesome, wonderful face. I'm not going to go super huge eyeball J. Scott Campbell. I'm going to do classic Jim Lee face. Because in the middle of his image stuff, he started getting big on the eyeballs like J. Scott Campbell. Which I liked his other, I like just the small eyeballs that he does. So we're going to go with the small. Yeah, it's funny. I study Jim Lee, man. I look at his stuff and, you know, all the 90 books, early stuff, like you got these teeny tiny noses, barely visible, and then big lips. And Jim Lee did like very small eyes. Like, I guess it's different when you're far away. I mean, you can't do much, but you know, it's like all black, and then he leaves a little sliver of white for the pupil. But it works. And then see if I can find a close-up. So, I mean, it's always small slivers of eyes. You know, there's Voodoo. Big lips, teeny tiny noses. Let's see. So, and then the guys never have pupils. It's just white. And then the girls there. I think there's a... So, the closer you get, they look like normal eyeballs. They're semi-big, but not enormous. But there you go. Do. Speaking of which, I just remembered I'm actually working on a little pet side project of the WildCATS. I think I showed you guys before, but I'm still working on this. Let me find it. I've got a pile of unfinished stuff behind me, but here's a little fun side project of the WildCATS I'm doing. It's got them all in there. Spartan, Voodoo. This is Jacob Marlowe. He's like the leader. He's the chosen one, but he's a small dude. Grifter, my man Grifter. And then Warblade. He's awesome. So, yep. Still working on this. Who knows when I'll have time to finish it, but just something fun. Something fun that I'm working on. Oh, and then here's a He-Man that I never finished. I was working on this a while back. I was actually experimenting with Crow Quill and didn't really like it, but here I'm just kind of sketching with the Crow Quill. It's so teeny and tiny. I cannot get the Crow Quill to do what I want it to do. But that's a cool He-Man. I like the way that came out. So that's something I'll have to finish one day. Hopefully before, I'm old and gray. That's my hope. All right. I got to throw on some side things. Oh, her belt buckle. It's cool. Skeletal looking thing here. And then the stripes. So the stripes come up. Something like that. Okay, I think that's it. Do I want to do anything special with the hair? A little more frilly, floaty, flying. All right, cool. I think it looks good. All right, now I'll sign it down here. Boom. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Jeff Potts in the house. Yo, Jeff, what's going on? Yo. Looks cool. Thank you, Amanda B. Thank you. Hey, and in case I didn't say, thank you so much for having me on for my closeout stream. That was awesome and fun. It was good to actually get on a stream with you. And yeah, that was a great, fun night. It was long, but we did it. We got through it. And thank you for changing your schedule around to let me be on with you guys. That was awesome. So they normally would do a different style stream and no shilling, but Leroy and Amanda were awesome, and they had me on anyway, and we had a great night. A bunch of people showed up. It was fun. Okay, time to ink. Let me put this over here. This I think is like a separate thing here. All right, I'm not going to ink the face first because it's been a week since my hands have held an inking pen, so I'm going to go with something that I can't screw up. So let's just start with the non-important little stuff over here. Her little... Oh, and you know what I forgot? I forgot her tattoos. She's got the crazy voodoo-ish tattoos. But I will get to that. We'll get to that. Let's do a 3 here. I gotta like work back into it. Gotta ease myself into this art thing, man. It's when you take a week off, it's like, whoa, how do I do this again? Gotta get into the mental state of mind. But yeah, let me tell you guys about my trip. So we went to Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So that was pretty special because my mom, my mom did meet us. She met us in Yellowstone. So we kind of got to vacation with them. My wife got to see her grandmom. Her great grandmom lived right down the street from her grandmom. She passed away at the ripe old age of I think it was 92 or 94. And her grandmom is 84. So yeah, so my wife's got some good genes in her, so she's probably going to outlast me. But the kids got to see their grandmom, or the great grandmom, actually. Yeah. So at one point, I think my youngest, when my wife's great grandmom was alive, so that was his great great grandmom. We were all in the room together. So it was, I think, my wife, her mom, my wife's mom, and then the great great grandmom. So it was 4 or 5 generations in the room at the same time. This was years ago, but anywho, why am I telling you all this? I don't know, but it was it's cool to get to enjoy the company of your elders, and so we had a good time. Went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, met up with some family there. Went fishing on the lake. They got some cool parks too. We went to a park. It was fun. So after Idaho, we journeyed to Glacier National Park, and there's actually some glaciers there. There wasn't a whole lot, but you could see some far away in the distance. But man, just the mountains, and it was beautiful. So I got some pictures of that. If I have time, I'm going to throw together I'll do a video and just put the videos I took and the pictures, and I don't know, do something cool with that. That'll be fun. But yeah, so we only had a half a day in Glacier, so we just drove through it and kind of did this loop. But man, there's so many places to stop and just take pictures. And there's one place called Lake Grinnell, I think it was, that we didn't get to see, and I was super bummed because before we drove through the night before, we're looking online and checking out pictures, and it was oh my gosh, that's just an epic picture that I wanted to take, and I didn't get to, so I was kind of bummed. But yeah, you guys might not know this, but I'm kind of a little wannabe photographer, so I'm I always want to take pictures and maybe one day make prints of cool pictures and do that on the side. That'd be fun. So I was hopping out of the car every 5 minutes, oh, stop here, it's a good picture, and my wife hates me because of that. She loves me, but she always gives me a hard time. So yeah, so Glacier. Then we took a road trip. That was a 4-hour trip, I believe, or was it 6 hours? I think it was 6 hours. From Glacier to Yellowstone. Stayed in Yellowstone for 2 days. Let's see, we got in Sunday night. We spent Monday and Tuesday in Yellowstone. So definitely not enough time to see everything, but Yellowstone's beautiful. And I'm not sure if it's the first national park or not. I think it might be. It might be the first of the national parks. But anywho, we went there before, saw tons and tons of bison, and this time the bison were MIA. I don't know where they all went. So we're telling my mom, oh yeah, you're gonna get tired of seeing bison, and yeah, they're gonna be everywhere. They're gonna be stopping traffic, and literally we probably saw 10. At one point we saw a group of them, and they're blocking this bridge that we're trying to get across. There's a place called the Grand Prismatic Spring, and it's beautiful. You have all the, I don't know if it's volcanic, but it's sulfur coming up out of the ground. So the it's super boiling hot, and so you can't go in it. You got to stay on the boardwalk. People have gotten burned and probably have died because they just wanted to go in there. But yeah, it sits on top of a volcano. So you have all this. So Old Faithful is in almost said Yosemite, is in Yellowstone, and so we saw that. That's a natural geyser. So you actually have all these geysers and all this steam just pouring out of the ground in all these different locations going through Yellowstone, because it sits on top of this like volcanic type area. So yeah, so the Grand Prismatic Spring is probably one of my favorite places because it's so beautiful. Like you have blue water, and then outside the blue water, it like starts to turn orange, and like all the ground just turns these beautiful colors. There's like yellows and greens and stuff like that. So I've got lots of pictures of that. And so we're on this trip, we're taking a hike above the Grand Prismatic Spring so we could take a picture from above. And all these bison were like blocking this bridge. And so we literally had to wait like a good 10-15 minutes. And then like they just kind of parked it like right across, they went across the bridge and then just parked it right on the other side in the grass. So we literally, they tell us, stay like 25 yards away from them just in case. So we had to like climb the mountain or like this little hill and get behind them because like that was the only way to get past them. They're just blocking the way. So we had to do a little mountain climbing, and then we got up to our spot and took some cool pictures. And yeah, but that was like the only time we saw a bunch of bison. Like they were literally just, you'd see one or two here and there. So I don't know if they were in the valley area or what, but they were just like MIA, man. So I felt bad. I'm like, Mom, sorry about that. I told you there'd be all these bison and you literally got to see like 10. But yeah. So other than that, we did see some elk. We saw some elk when we got into like this little towny type area. I got a picture of a nice huge bull elk, huge antlers and stuff. It's really cool. There's just a bunch hanging out there, just like sleeping near the cabins and stuff. And we finally got to see a moose. So the first time we went, like one of the animals my wife wanted to see was a moose, and we didn't see any because like they're there, like they're totally hanging out there. They're in the mountains and everything, but we didn't see any. So this time, it was the last night. We're driving back to our place, and it's late at night. It's dark, and so we come out of this area to get to our cabin, and it's dark, right? So I just see these huge, like kind of brownish white legs walking across the street in front of us, like I don't know, 20 yards maybe, and it was this huge moose. So I mean, they're enormous. And so my wife's like, oh my gosh, turn around. And so I turn around, I pull around, and it's like in this dirt lot across from us. And so I'm like, I pull around and I'm like, I got my high beam, like my lights on him. And I'm like, is this like safe? Should we be doing this? Like if he feels like threatened or cornered in any way, like he's just going to come charging at us. So we got our peek at him. He was awesome, amazing, majestic. And then I was like, okay, let's get out of here. And my daughter was freaking out because like not even a minute before she got out of the van and opened this gate to let us through into this, like, it's, it's a private drive and it's like, no trespassing, stay out. So she was out of the van, like opening the gate like 2 minutes before. And she's like, I could have gotten killed. She was freaking out. So that's kind of funny, but, yeah, so that was a cool experience. Finally got to see a moose. And then on our first trip to Yellowstone, we got to see a bear mama and her cubs, which is cool. We went up to Lamar Valley, which is like way up and out of the way. And there's some bears and mama and her 2 baby cubs chilling in the woods. So we got to take pictures of them. And it was cute. The bears were like climbing the trees and just being cute bear cubs. So that was cool. Just got to see bears on the first trip. Got to see wolves on the first trip from a huge long distance. A woman had them in her little telescope camera finder thing. And so we were like a real ways off. They were like on a mountainside on the other side there. But yeah, so lots and lots of wildlife. If you like wildlife, you should check out Yellowstone. And I don't think we saw any wildlife at Glacier driving through. But yeah. All right, I'm just like picking at this lady's hair here. Let me check the chat. Let's check the chat. Leroy's channel now belongs to Amanda. Confirmed. Yep. Oh, wait. Hold on one second. Boy. Okay. Let me ink these little things. I'm going to have to ink around these, so let me just bang these out of the way. So besides all the lack of sleep and all that stuff, it was a great trip. It's always awesome seeing God's green creation and all the animals, and yeah, visiting with family. So my mom is from South Carolina. They were driving out. They were doing like a cross country trip, seeing a bunch of sites, and so they met us in Yellowstone, or actually Glacier, and then we got to hang out with them. So I got to see family, got to explore. Oh, and when we were in Idaho, we did this awesome trek. We did a 14-mile bike ride through the mountains, and it was like a 14-mile bike ride downhill. So kind of crazy, but it wasn't too bad. It was actually probably like easy on the scale of, difficulty, but I was pulling my 18-month-old behind me on this little trailer thing, which she kind of, any chance she could get out and run around was like, she loved it. She hates being cooped up, and she hates being in her car seat too, in the van, which we realized, which wasn't fun for all the driving we did. So she got to watch a lot of Cocomelon, which she loved, but everybody else hated. And yeah, so we went through this 2-mile tunnel. I think it was 2 miles. It was super long, and we had to do it 2 times. And a tunnel that long, you can imagine you get like all the water dripping from the ceiling, and it's like wet, and just the air is moist. So on the way back, the ground was more wet than when we started. And it was, we started around noon. We didn't finish till like 4. So it was like a 4-hour ride. We're going through, and my daughter's just like crying behind me. And I'm like, I just want to get out of this tunnel. It's been a long day. And so we get out of the tunnel though, and I realize all the like dirt and like water was like spitting up behind my tire and just like flying on her. So poor thing, she was like freaking out. She was like pretty much covered with just like this dirt, this gray dirt. And she wasn't super wet, but she was just like had dirt on her. I had a mesh screen down in front of her, but I didn't put this like plastic protector down. And so the mud was just flying through the sides of the mesh and got her all dirty and muddy. But when we stopped and I picked the thing up, she had a smile on her face. So it was all good. But, I'm just thinking like, gosh, I want to get out of here. I want to get her to stop crying. And meanwhile, I'm like spitting dirt all over. So that was fun. That was a good time. But, yep. There was like I think 10 bridges, 7 bridges, 10 tunnels. I don't know. I think 10 tunnels or more. I don't know. It was crazy. But we got through it. It was the longest bike ride I've ever done. And it's called the Hiawatha Trail. And we were able to just rent bikes from this, company or whatever and tour people. And yeah, there we go. We went on our tour. 14-mile bike ride down the mountain. If it was up the mountain, like I literally would not have been able to do it, because pulling that little baby thing behind me, it was called I forget what it was called. I don't even remember. But anyway, I definitely would not have been able to do it. Just like the little hilly areas I went up, like, forget it. We saw some deer on that trip. We saw some deer. We saw one eating in the bushes, and then like here comes this little baby deer galloping over to the mommy, and then they took off into the woods. Oh, and I fed a deer. My family got to feed a deer. That was cool. Got video of that. I posted that on Twitter. I'm sure we're making all the what do you call them? Wildlife activists super upset because we're feeding the deer. But come on, I mean, how often are you gonna feed a deer? If you got the opportunity, you need to take it. You know what I mean? That's how I was feeling. And it's not like we're feeding bears, you know what I mean? We ain't feeding the bears. We're just feeding the cute little deers. Bambi over there. Doo-loo. And not that it makes it any better, but when we rolled up, this other guy was feeding the deer some watermelon, and so the deer was like already like, oh, food, humans, I want some more food. So he came over to us and had some grapes, fed him grapes, didn't give him any like bar or anything. It's healthy, organic, all natural. So, yeah, how are we doing? 47 minutes. I feel like this is taking a long time, but I'm just chilling. Hello, Christina Lynn. Welcome. Do. There have been lots of deer around my house, but they never got close enough to feed them. Yeah, I bet you if you left some food out and just got them used to having food around, and then like slowly work yourself in there, I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure they'd let you. Like, oh, you're the nice lady that's feeding us. How are you? I'll take some more food. My dad, he lives in Virginia, and man, him and my stepmom, they're like, I don't know what you call them, man. They've got squirrel feeders everywhere. They've got raccoons that they feed. They like feed all the animals, deer, you name it, foxes. They get them all in their backyard and they like feed them all. I don't know if it's their goal to like hand feed all these animals, but they do. But it takes time. You gotta develop a rapport with them and let them know you're nice and all that good stuff. But yeah, they send me videos all the time of them feeding all kinds of crazy animals. It's like, all right, you guys are start a National Geographic channel over here. How to feed the animals in your backyard. 101. My dad actually had a pet squirrel growing up too, so I guess that explains it. He's all about the nature. But my stepmom too. She loves that stuff. All about the nature. Yeah, and at our little cabin, we had a little squirrel friend. He kept showing up. We put some nuts outside the window, and he kept coming to eat. And my daughter was like flipping out. She was like loving it. She sees any animal now, and she's just like, oh, 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 just like freaks out. So cute. So I got lots of videos of that. We saw some chipmunks, cute little chipmunks coming to grab food at the end of our bike ride. So I got video of that. Yeah, I got tons of pictures and videos. You know how it is. Go on vacation and your phone's like out of space because you've taken so many photos. Yeah, I need to upgrade my phone. That thing is out of space. All right, I'm going to draw some eyeballs. I think I'm feeling confident enough now. Let's do this little headpiece. So this is Voodoo from WildCATS. If you guys don't know who I'm drawing, Last week I did Catelyn Fairchild from Gen 13, another 90s comic, and this is Voodoo from WildCATS from the 90s, Jim Lee's book. So I'm digging it. I'm digging all these 90s characters, man. Keep them coming. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right, I'm going to go in with my super thin pen here. Let's see, another part of our mask over here. Let's do Jeff Potts. What's going on? I leave food out for the deer in my neighborhood. They're called lilies. They're called lilies. Is that what you call the deer? Lilies? Or is that the food? They're called lilies? Is that like a... What is that? Yeah, it's always cool and exciting when you can get close to some animals. It's like that scene in Legend when they're like the chick's getting close to the unicorn. You just feel like, man, should I be doing this? It feels weird but exciting. I love it. All right, let's do the nose. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's go super small, 005. Just gonna... There we go. All right. She's got a weird... Her hair is kind of weird up there. I don't know if I can fix that or not. She's got lots of hair, but I gotta do something to fix that. Give it more turns and stuff. Has anyone encountered a bear up close and personal? Curious. They were, so when you visit Yosemite, no, not Yosemite, gosh, sorry, I keep getting them confused. When you visit Yellowstone, they sell like this bear spray, and I saw a few people with it, but I mean, I don't think you'd encounter any bears if you're staying on like more heavily trafficked trails, but I guess there's always that chance. Better be safe than sorry. But yeah, I can't imagine like coming in contact with a bear. That'd just be, I don't know, man. I'd be running, or backing away slowly. If you see a bear, don't run. But yeah. So right before I moved out to California, so I'm from New Jersey. I was like, okay, and this was before, right before I got married. I was moving out to California for good to be married, and I determined, all right, I'm going to live in San Diego because this is like the hot spot for comics, right? This was back in 2005, and I'm like, I'm going to move to California. I'm going to get married. We're going to live in California, San Diego, and I'm going to stink and get a job at, Wildstorm or something. Because in La Jolla is where Wildstorm used to be located. That was like their main base. So that was their studio. So I'm like, I'm right here. San Diego Comic-Con is in town. This is it. So anyway, before I left New Jersey, I'm like, I had the itch to, like go climb a mountain, just kind of enjoy the mountains one last time. So I went to like the Delaware Water Gap, kind of close to New York, and I was just gonna climb this mountain, and it was like a cool overlook. So you have the road and this huge tall rock mountain thing just pointing out of the ground, sticking out of the mountain, and it's like an awesome overlook. So I'm like, I'm gonna go up there and I'm just gonna take a picture. I'm gonna sit down, just kind of soak it all in, and just say goodbye. So I get up there. It was a pretty decent hike. It was like off out of the way. It was not on any kind of trail. I just kind of parked the car and just hiked up the mountain. That was like basically it. There's no path or anything. Other people were going other places. I don't even know. So I was just like, I'm going up there. I want to take a picture up there on that rock. So I get up there. It was a nice hike through the woods. Like, it was pretty high, but it didn't take too long. And then I'm looking on the ground and I see these droppings, and I'm like, all right, that's not deer droppings. I'm not like some expert, pioneersman. I don't know what every creature's poop looks like, but I'm like, that's pretty big. That's like bigger than a dog. And, I think deer poop is pretty like, it's a bunch of small pebbly looking poops, right? So my immediate thought is just like, oh my gosh, like this is bear droppings. What am I doing? Like, I have nothing. I have a backpack on. I may have had like a little Leatherman like blade with me, but like I'm not prepared for this. I'm like, what if I come in contact with a bear? Like I'm dead. So I don't even know if I got that picture. I think I did. I think I went out, I got the picture, but I was like, the whole time I'm just like, I need to get out of here. Like this might be fresh. So I just hightailed it down the hill, man. The more I thought about it, the scareder I got, and I was just like, I'm out of here. I do not want to see a bear. I'm good. I don't want to die here before I get married and start my life. I'm out of here. So, gosh, I didn't even see the bear, and I was like freaking out. Woo! Still get chills thinking about it. So yeah, so I would not want to come in contact with a bear, faux sure. Gosh, especially if it's mating season, which in Yosemite Yellowstone, it was like bear mating season. It was like all the animals mating season. So yeah, like they get more protective. The bison, all the creatures, they just get more protective. The elk, it was their mating season. The one elk I saw, he like runs across the street in front of these cars and just like starts digging his horns into the ground, like chucking up grass and just demolishing it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be in contact with that dude. I'm good. So yeah, so that's my bear story when I didn't find a bear, and I was thankful. But shoot. Gosh, and did I tell you guys that two raccoons killed two of my chickens? Did I tell you that story? I think I may have. But black bears are more likely to attack than grizzlies and brown. Okay, good to know. Good to know. They're not great, but I like the F4 movies before Fantastic Four. Haven't seen a bear up close. LOL. What do you guys think about the 2000s Fantastic Four movies? I just watched them this week. Man, there was two of them, right? The second one had the Silver Surfer. We actually just watched that one not too long ago. Actually, my kids wanted to watch it. I didn't love them. They had like their decent, moments, but I didn't love it. I feel like they're like more for kids. Like my kids probably enjoyed them a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's Captain America." But yeah, I want to see some Galactus. I felt like the Silver Surfer thing could have been done better. I don't know. I was never a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I felt like, I don't know. I guess it was good during the time, but now with all the Avengers movies and everything, we're probably spoiled rotten. But yeah, I think the casting was decent, but just, wasn't great. Like Doctor Doom, even, I felt like he didn't really have, I don't know, he didn't have his moment, but I'd watch him if there's nothing else on. But, wasn't like Fantastic Four. And then the newer one, like that one was weird. Like it started off really good, and then all of a sudden, I felt like once they got to that the world or the dimension, it was like it just all fell apart. It was like weird. Like the acting, the story, it just totally just went downhill. But again, I liked the casting choices. I liked that the kid who played the Thing. It was cool having them all kind of younger, and I like the guy who played what's his name, Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know his name, but I like him as an actor. So yeah, I don't know. That was my first impression when I first saw it. I was like, what the heck just happened? Like everything just kind of changed. Like even the special effects were like lame. So that was my initial take on it. I think I've seen it again more recently, and I watched it with my kids, and it was like, maybe a little better the second time around, but didn't love it. All right, let me ink these guys here. These are up in the foreground. And let's see here. Then I'm going to make black. I'm going to cover that up because I messed that up. And I keep seeing all these different like memes and like people wanting John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and then Emily Blunt. I think that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Is that like something that's actually in the works, or is that just like fans stuff? Because now that right, Fox is owned by Disney, so we might actually get a good Fantastic Four movie, maybe. Is that what everybody's hoping? Make this black. The Silver Surfer was well animated for 2007. Yes. Yeah, he was. The character himself. The 94 Fantastic Four movie was surprisingly faithful to the comics. Huh, really? Again, I didn't really read the Fantastic Four growing up. I know the characters and stuff, but I don't know, all that. And I'm trying to think. So Doctor Doom, trying to remember his Victor Von Doom. Was he with them on the spacecraft when they went to space? Yeah, it was weird seeing Captain America guy at first. This is looking awesome at work, so watch when I can. No problem. No problem. No, poor chickens. Oh yeah, all right, I got to tell you that story. But back to the Fantastic Four. I remember when they did the rebirth thing, and a lot of the image artists came back to Marvel, and they did like all the relaunching of the Avengers, and they redid the Fantastic Four. I have the Jim Lee version of the Fantastic Four. That probably changed a little bit, but I wonder if you've read that, Mr. Von Stugel, how faithful is that rendition to the original? Because that was cool. That had Namor in it. They battle that creature, I think, in the city. So I feel like, I've seen the cover with that image from back in the day. So I wonder how faithful that relaunch was. But anywho, all right, the chicken story. So yeah, all right, let me see where to start. So I think I might have mentioned that behind our house is this huge vacant lot that they're now developing. And so they have surveyors out there. They're getting their land ready for building 9 homes and all that good stuff. Well, the builder had surveyors come out, and they realized that myself and like 3 other neighbors, our fence line was like way out of whack. Like it was off by maybe 4 or 5 feet. So we all had to move our fence line. Well, where our fence stopped, or where that area was, that was my chicken run. So, I have the chicken coop, and then the chickens just kind of go out in that area, and they have like a long strip beside the fence, and that was the chicken run. So after they moved the fence, I had to remake a chicken run, and I got all the wire up for the sides and everything, just make sure nothing can get in. We kind of have to worry about hawks. So, but the position of it is under 2 pretty decent big trees, and so they're kind of covered, from the sky from like a hawk. So I wasn't worried about hawks, right? And we really don't get raccoons. I barely see raccoons. We kind of know they're there, but again, like we don't see them, right? So I get this new chicken run done. It's a lot smaller. It's beside the chicken coop, and I didn't put any wiring on the top. And so, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to it. No biggie. Well, it was early in the morning. It was like 5 a.m. Me and my sons were getting up. We're going to a men's breakfast. And I go out for something. I don't even remember why I went out. Maybe to open the chickens. I don't even remember. But I hear like this scratching noise. And I'm like, oh, what is that? And I think I might have heard the chickens going a little crazy. So I go over to the chicken coop, and I see this big black silhouette walking across the top of the fence. And I was like, it was kind of too big to be a cat, but it could have been a cat. And then so I ran back in the house. I got my flashlight, and I came out. Oh, I grabbed my BB gun too, because I'm like, I don't know what that is. I want to shoot it. But so yeah, I get my light out. It was probably 2 raccoons. One went on the fence to the right. The other one was up in the tree. So the dude's like peering out of the tree, like looking at us. And I'm like, oh, dude. So, and then I see in the bottom of the chicken run, right below where the chickens come out from a little like doggy door, there's one on the ground, and it was like, I just see feathers everywhere. So I'm like, gosh. So I start shooting at the raccoon. He starts going further up into the tree. He stops in the tree, and he's like looking down at us, and I keep pegging him with these pellets, but they're literally bouncing off his fur. His fur is so thick, and this is like a Daisy like BB gun. So I hear the bullets bouncing off him onto the metal roof on the kids' playhouse, which is right there too. And I'm like, what the heck? So he's just hanging out. He's like barely flinching, and then he starts moving further back. So I'm like, crap. And we gotta leave. We're going to this thing, and so yeah. So long story short, in the coop was a chicken that was mangled. I had to kill it when I got home. Its beak was literally like missing. It was gnarly. And then the one outside the coop was just destroyed. So that one was already dead. But yeah. So that's my raccoon 2 dead chicken story from a few weeks back. So I learned my lesson. I got the chicken coop covered, and actually when we go to bed at night, we just close the doggy door just to be safe. But yeah, don't want to have to go through that again. So I think we had 9 chickens. No, we had 8. Now we have 6. Something like that. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. But anyway. Yeah. So, poor little guys. But have not seen the raccoons since then. Thank God. But, yep. They were feasting on some chicken. And I'm just glad we got out there when we did, because, they must have, I don't know how long they were going at it, but if I'd not gone out there, like, they may have killed all of them or gotten more, so it's kind of, at least I got out there when I did. But craziness. Zippy, what's up, man? Peering out of the tree like the Cheshire cat. Cheshire cat. Yeah, he was just like chilling. It was funny. Haven't read them since I was like 8, so I'm not sure. No worries. Hey, man, are you back from your trip? What'd you get me? Oh, man, I got you a bunch of photos that I can show you. Yep. Lots of photos, man. Lots of photos. That was a great trip. Yeah, family loved it. Got to visit with family. Got to see lots of sights. And yeah, we visited Glacier National Park, Yellowstone. So you can imagine we got to see all kinds of awesome stuff. I'm not going to go crazy on these boots. I think less is more with these guys. But let me do the shoes. I might have to finish this offline. I am hungry. My belly is rumbling. But my body's getting mad at me. It's telling me to eat some food. There's my beautiful wife. How are you, sweetie? Tired? Yeah. Yeah, last night my daughter was up she didn't go to bed till 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she woke up around 12:30 because I think we did get a little bit of sleep, but not much.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Oh, thanks, baby. But yeah, so my daughter's schedule is all out of whack. So, like I said, we've been getting a little sleep, but that's how it goes when you've got an 18-month-old. But she's worth it. She's a cutie. She kisses me. That's all that matters. She gives me cute little 18-month-old kisses. Oh, okay. And my wife is going to take a nap in the other room, so I will definitely be wrapping this up soon. Dun, dun, dun. But you can kind of see where it's going here. Let me do the legs, and we'll call it a day. Zippy, do you know what character this is? You probably do, but do you know? And I can't forget, I gotta put her tattoos on her arms and legs. She's got tattoos. She's got the tats. She's got the tats. All right, let's see here. This? Yeah, like that. Pop quiz, Zippy. Do you know this character? Looks like my ex-girlfriend. Correct answer. That's funny. This is Voodoo. Voodoo from the WildCATS. 90s comics, baby. You like those 90s comics, right, Voodoo Zippy? You a 90s comic fan? Or are you like, nah, too good for that stuff, man? Too good for that. Yeah, 90s weren't, the art was amazing. Stories were but it had its moments. And we got some pretty awesome characters out of it, I'd say. Great artwork. We got Dale Keown, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, Brett Booth. Who else? Well, I mean, some of those guys were already around, but we got to see some awesome creator-owned work from them. Cool stuff from their minds. Okay, I'm going to call it a day right here. I sign it. Bam. And Fan Art Friday. Oh, all right. My goal and my plan is to, once I get rolling on Shadow Sentry, maybe next year I'll roll out. I want to do a Fan Art Friday plus drawn and quartered art book. So that's my plan. I'm going to try and throw all that stuff in a book and offer it on an Indiegogo campaign and have a cool art book for this stuff. So there you go. So you guys can get a book with all this awesome artwork in it. Cool. She looks great. Awesome, man. Yeah, I dig the 90s stuff. Liefeld became so popular because it was over the top, which is good for a fantasy book. Yeah. His art is over the top. He's got good, I like his layouts. He's got good layouts. His art was very kind of like rough. I don't know. I personally prefer Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri. They're like my two top guys that I love looking at. But yeah, Liefeld was I liked his layouts. I liked the characters he created. I like the Youngblood were fun. But yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm gonna call it a day. Good to be back with y'all. It's been a week off, so thanks for joining me again. And I will look forward to next Friday, where I will take your requests and look for some other stuff, some inking streams as well. I got to ink this Ragetality. I got to do a Mavericks pinup and some other cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Y'all have a great day. God bless. Until next time.